Honey's the daughter, full of bright light. Harry's her dad, guiding her right. Shoulder to shoulder through the good and the bad. Faithful forever, that's Honey and Dad. Sharing their hearts out with stories so true. Laughs, tears, and wisdom, all waiting for you. Rest for the weary, joy for the sad. For the stuff you hold dearly, watch Honey and Dad. Don't miss their show, or you'll miss out on the gold. Faith, family, love stories never get old. From laughter to lessons, they've got it all here. With love in each moment, and faith ever near. Tune in for the journey, the joy and the cheer. Rest for the weary, joy for the sad. For the stuff you hold dearly, watch Honey and Dad. Don't miss their show, or you'll miss out on the gold. Faith, family, love stories never get old. From laughter to lessons, you've got it all here. With love in each moment, and faith ever near. Tune in for the journey, the joy and the cheer. Rest for the weary, joy for the sad. For the stuff you hold dearly, watch Honey and Dad. Honey's the daughter, full of bright light. Harry's her dad, guiding her right. Shoulder to shoulder through the good and the bad. Faithful forever, that's Honey and Dad.
Hi, welcome to the Honey and Harry Show. I'm Honey.
And I'm Harry, pushing buttons, turning dials, and getting older every day.
Every day. Well, today we have a great guest. I know Mandy from St. Jude, and it's Mandy Cushing. And she actually works for Maddie's Footprints. And she is the executive director over there. And she's going to kind of talk to us today about what they do over there. I had never heard of Maddie's Footprints, so that was... You reached out to me, didn't you reach out to me? Or Lindsay reached out to Lindsay. You reached out to Lindsay.
Yes.
And I really didn't know anything about this. I know you said it started in Lafayette, right?
Did.
And such an amazing thing. We have been talking. We talked in the den for a little while. We've been talking a lot. I think this is a great organization that you're working for. I think y'all are doing amazing things. So you kind of need to educate all of us.
Absolutely.
Because I need you have educated me just in the past 15 minutes talking. And of course, I know there's going to be places we can donate. Dad, don't we have things where we can pull that up later too?
Sure.
For donations, help. I'm sure you need volunteers, right?
Yes.
All the things, but you're really doing some amazing stuff. So welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yay. I know, I'm so excited. But anyway, so kind of tell us, I know she taught at St. Jude for a while. For what? Well, you've taught for 20 years, but then she taught at St. Jude for a little while. That's how we know you. But kind of tell us how you even got interested in doing
Sure.
this, or if they came after you.
So at St. Jude, I volunteered a lot for every event, basically, that we put on. And I've done that over the past probably 8 to 10 years. I was on the auction committee, and I realized I was good at it. And I love teaching. And one day, my sister contacted me and said, I just saw this post and they're looking for someone at this organization called Maddie's Footprints, and it's a part-time position. So I thought, well, there's no way that I can do a part-time position. I need to be full-time. But this sounds right up my alley. And then as that happened, I just kind of prayed on it and was like, if it's meant to be, it's going to happen. And then at around the same time, a part-time position at St. Jude opened up, which is where I was the religious coordinator over there. So I talked to the principal and I said, this is what I'd like to do. Is this position available? And we kind of worked out all the details and it ended up working out. Maddie's Footprints stood out to me because I had a miscarriage at 8 weeks, which was very early on. And a lot of times that gets kind of overlooked. But I do remember going home, both myself and my husband, and kind of going to work the next day and just having to get on with your life the next day and not really knowing. You start planning for that baby the second you find out you're pregnant.
Yeah, and I'm so glad she said that because we were talking about that in the den. And it's like, I know my generation at least, people had miscarriage and never even talked about it.
Right.
And it was like you couldn't even, I feel like you weren't even allowed to grieve.
Right.
Isn't that odd? That
like it wasn't like the correct emotion to have.
Yeah, and it's you like you said, the minute and I felt like that too. The minute you conceive, you love that baby
right
so much, and like in 8 weeks you're devastated,
right?
Because you have all these plans and all these hopes and dreams. So,
right,
and I am so sorry for that. I am.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And and you have your children to talk to and tell them about it. And so I felt like I could connect because I understand what, to
100%.
some extent, what that feels like. And I understood that when everybody's reaching out to you in the beginning, 6 months later, when you're trying to have another baby or you're thinking about that baby because you're nearing what would have been the due date, nobody remembers that happened. They've all kind of moved on from it. And that is probably more common with an early loss than a later loss. Maddie's Footprints has been around for 15 years.
So crazy.
And in Lafayette. Anna's Grace was here in Baton Rouge, and they asked us to come in and take over 3 years ago.
Okay.
So that's when we came to Baton Rouge and started up here. So I started about a year in to the Baton Rouge. I don't want to say chapter because we're one.
Okay.
But we cover all 19 parishes over Acadiana and Greater Baton Rouge.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, I know Lindsay's husband's from Lafayette, but I hadn't heard of it and then I've been seeing the commercials on TV.
Oh, yes.
He looks so good.
Oh, gosh.
You doing so good. No. So anyway,
well,
so that's how you kind of got started.
Yes.
In doing that. So kind of tell me what you do. Like what is like your job? I know you have, I went and looked at your website and there's several different people that do several different things.
Right.
So,
as of right now, we have 2 employees. When I started, we had an executive director. We have our program director, Ashley, who is amazing. She works directly with our family. She's a certified social worker. So she will meet with the families right after we get an application in. And then she'll kind of follow up with the family. And she also does sessions with them as well.
Oh, wow.
And so, and then I was the event director of Baton Rouge. And then our executive director who had hired me left, probably in May. She was wonderful and taught me all kinds of wonderful things about Maddie's and what we need to do to grow Maddie. So I'm happy to be able to, take what she's taught me as the executive director. So when she left and we started interviewing people, I kind of approached our founder and was like, look, I'm really passionate about this. I feel like I can cover both areas. But I wanted to keep doing the events in Baton Rouge because I love doing the events. I feel like it's the way I connect with a lot of our families that come back.
Well, yeah, that's an amazing way to connect.
And I just thoroughly enjoy it. So I travel back and forth between Lafayette and Baton Rouge, just going out, getting new sponsorships, getting out in the community, and teaching people about what we do.
So the obvious question, why is it Maddie's footprints? Is it named after somebody?
So our founders, Lori and Travis McGrew,
Okay.
found out while they were pregnant with their first child, Madeline Noel, they found out that she had trisomy 18, which is not compatible with life. So as you
What
can
is
imagine,
that? Do you mind me asking? I've never even, like, what is that?
Honestly,
You don't even. It's I mean, it's
yes,
just something.
the medical side of it, I'm not.
Well, no, I know that,
certain
but I'm
of.
just, but that's just.
I know that she had some brain on her fluid. She had a cleft palate.
poor baby.
So she had a couple of different issues going on. So when they went to give birth, she was born directly into heaven, and they had so much support and love from their family. They had people helping them pay for her funeral, and people that were there to help her. And no one asked whether or not that they financially needed the support. They just helped. And so Maddie made such an impact on them, and they wanted to remember her, that they wanted to be able to help other families in the area.
So beautiful.
So they decided to go out. We just, as I said, celebrated our 15th year, and I was telling Lori, I was like, it's so amazing that this one little bitty life has helped over 3,100 families in the past 15 years.
3,100.
And we paid out over $1.6 million in helping families. So, it's pretty amazing what
One
this
little life.
one little life did.
Oh my gosh.
And
they should be so proud of that. I mean,
right.
and
The
just
legacy
in her-
that she is leaving behind and the people that she's helping is just amazing. And it's a great way to honor her.
It really is. And I like that you said that it doesn't matter if you need, like, financially. Like,
Right.
you just come in and help.
Yes.
I know I was telling Mandy earlier that we were talking, my son had a baby. And the baby was in the NICU for, William was there for maybe 3.5 months.
Mm-hmm.
And the things you see and the things you hear, you maybe not see, but hear about. And it's so sad. And to know that there's somebody like y'all that could go in and help these poor grieving families. And it's not just like you help some financially. I mean, I know you said that, but, and we can get into that in a minute too. Yeah. But you also offer counseling, right?
We do.
So, and I think, to be honest with you, the counseling is even more important than the financial.
Right.
Because I was worried about my son and his wife. Like, God forbid if something happens, like, I'm worried about myself. You know? I mean, we're all going to be, like, devastated.
How do you go on?
How do you manage?
How do you manage?
Yeah, how do you manage this? So kind of tell us about that. Like, what do y'all do a little bit, like, for the, like, with funerals, or like just kind of tell us how all that works a little bit.
The way that it would work, the way that it works is when a family suffers a loss, typically the hospital is going to get with them and fill out our application. And the application pretty much just gives us the date of birth, the original birth date, so we know how old the baby was, and then the parents' name, what hospital they gave birth at, and what funeral the home they've chosen. And then once we receive that, within probably, Ashley's so great, probably within 20 minutes, she's on the phone.
Really?
We prefer for a social worker or someone outside of the family to fill out an application so that she can kind of understand what's going on before she speaks to the parents. Once she gets off the phone with a social worker, she'll go ahead and talk to the parents, and then she makes some connections with them for the funeral home. And that's when we decide whether or not we're going to approve the cremation or burial for the family and how much money goes towards the family. And there's not anybody that doesn't get approved. It's just part of our process.
I love that, because like you said earlier, like when you're young and you're having children, that's not what you're thinking about. You're thinking, oh, I'm going to have this baby. We're all excited. You're buying beds. You're not thinking about burial. You think about that, like, later on when you have the kids, you start, getting life insurance for all the kids once you have your children.
Right, but you don't think about it.
You don't think about it when
before
you're
then.
pregnant. No, because you're
Right.
so young and you're having kids and you're just thinking the best is going to happen. So that's so nice. And then I guess then y'all would come in with counseling, if they would want that.
Right. One of the things Ashley will ask in the first phone call is, are you interested in me following up with you?
Oh, so nice.
And so Ashley will follow up. She's got everything documented, like at a 3-week mark, at a 6-month mark. She has different marks that she makes sure she calls each family and speaks to them. Some families are very open to it. Some struggle a little bit more with it. And then she will give, in Baton Rouge right now, we refer people to Baton Rouge Perinatal. So she'll do the phone calls and the follow-ups, but then since she's in Lafayette and we have so many families that we're helping, we pay for, I want to say 5 sessions at Baton Rouge Perinatal for the family.
And so you were telling me too, like, how many, like, what was, I mean, you don't know how many, but like, there's like, how many people lose, you don't even think about it.
How many families?
I mean, like, it's so many, you
1
say.
in 4.
1 in 4.
We are at, since 2024, so since January, in Baton Rouge, we are at 176 families that we've helped.
Really? And those are like just all different scenarios.
Yes, so that's any gestational age up to a year old.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that up to a year old.
We do, and we have to cut it off at a year old. We find that in order to fulfill our mission of helping these families, sometimes families are sent to grief for child loss. And it's very hard for someone that's lost a baby or a pregnancy to sit in a room with someone that has lost a 12-year-old, say.
Oh, 100%.
Because they don't feel like they have a right to speak up. And we don't ever want our families to feel like that. So the age is a year old, and we'll help those families. And so aside from having the professional counseling, we also provide quarterly support groups. We do workshops throughout the year. One thing that's really been kicking off that we just started this year that I really like, we have a Maddie's Daddies group and a Maddie's Mommies group.
I love that.
And dads don't want to talk about their grief. Men just, it's harder for them.
Well, the men are supposed to be the strong guys, right? For the wife. And
and so
they grieve.
They grieve, but they're trying to be strong for their wife, for their children, and so we did, the last Maddie's Daddies we did was a beer tasting. And
I love that.
We just had a bunch of dads get together at City Pork, and they had someone come
perfect.
and do beer tasting and music. And I had a few dads kind of that are further along on their journey that know, like, we kind of call them our mentor dads.
I love that.
And you didn't have to talk about your baby, but by the end of the night, people, I think they closed down the restaurant, and by the end of the night they were making connections and people were talking about getting together for dinner. And so
I love
it's
that.
kind of our way of helping our dads get together to talk about, or know that they have someone to reach out to when they're
Absolutely.
struggling, without forcing them into a session.
Yeah, because men aren't really eager for that. We are. Women are.
Right.
We're
We
like,
want to talk about it.
yeah, they don't.
Right.
And they just like, but it's not. They need to. They do. I love that y'all do that.
Yes.
So this month is what it's infant
and pregnancy and infant loss awareness month.
Pull that up, Dad, please. Oh, so sweet.
So this is a picture of Maddie, her little
oh,
hands.
look at her, huh? So she started all this, Maddie.
She is.
I know. I love
She is
that.
our why.
Oh my goodness. And so what other, we have something, it's this weekend, right?
On Saturday we have a race.
So pull that up. So I want everybody to see that because, and there's
And
a
that
scan.
QR code will get you to the place
When
to
is it?
register.
Point Marie.
It's in Point Marie.
I love
It's
Point Marie.
beautiful.
Yes.
And we go out to the race. We have a 1 mile and a 5K.
Okay.
And families can come together and form teams. They do fundraisers.
Okay.
I want to say I counted, we have probably 35 teams right now. We're almost at 1,000 people.
Oh, wow.
Our teams have raised something around $26,000
Really?
already working together. Which is pretty awesome. And we kind of do a contest between between our teams.
Oh, I love
but,
that.
We also have tribute signs, and I wish I would have gotten y'all a picture of our tribute signs.
Oh, wow.
Where we do it, the families can purchase a tribute sign, and we put them out year after year. And it might have a picture of their baby and a little message from mom and dad.
Really?
So
Okay.
we make almost like a garden of tribute signs, so families can come take pictures with their babies.
Really?
And then one of my favorite things we do, and I'm super excited, Caroline's Cookies is making a gigantic.
I love Caroline's
I know, right?
I should love them. I need to stay away from those cookies, but
know.
oh gosh, yes.
They're donating a giant cookie cake to us.
Really?
And we will have all of our babies' names on it, and we cut the
Really?
babies' names out, and the families get to have
gosh.
that piece of cake for our families.
This is
for
so
their family.
nice that y'all. I mean, like, I am just blown away with this. I never had heard about it. Now I'm starting. I'll see it on TV now. I'm starting to see things. I think that more people need to know about, especially because, like, when we were even in the NICU, I didn't know about that. Not that I was supposed to, but I'm sure the NICU nurses.
They should have it, and I feel like it might be an awkward thing to bring up.
Well, when your
before your baby,
No.
while
You would
your
never.
baby.
No.
So,
no. Don't want to give people anxiety.
Right. So I think that, but yes, the NICU is often, if there are the social workers, will refer people to us.
So y'all work with Women's a lot.
Women's is our biggest hospital that
Okay.
we work with, but we get babies from Ochsner and Baton Rouge General.
All the different ones.
All the different ones. And also
Okay.
Children's, Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital.
Okay, I didn't even
Because
think about that.
once a baby leaves Woman's, if they were to get sick, they can't go back to Woman's.
Okay.
So
You're
they're
right.
gonna
You're
go
right
over
about
to
that.
Children's
No,
at
you're
that
right.
point. And they're wonderful about working with our families too.
Oh, my
We're
gosh.
very fortunate.
And then, of course, in Lafayette, because we don't want to forget about Lafayette because we have family over there. Us, Lindsay's husband's from over there. I know Carter was born in, I think was it Lourdes, Dad? Was that where he was born?
Women's and Children's.
Yeah, Women's and Children's.
Our
Is
Lady
that
of
what it was?
Lourdes,
Maybe
yes.
that's what it was. Yeah, that's where he was.
It's Lourdes, though,
It is
yes.
Lourdes. Okay, I didn't know if I was right, but that's where Carter was born.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
Okay.
in Lafayette. So y'all have a big presence over there.
We do. We just had our race there on October 12th, and we
Okay.
had about 1,500 people there.
Oh, really? That many?
Yes.
Oh,
It's
wow.
pretty awesome.
So, Dad, can you pull up their website so people can kind of
Absolutely.
see what the website looks like and stuff? You see, okay, are you able to move it any? Okay, good. So, how can people get involved? That's what I want to know. Like, what do y'all? Is there things that y'all need? Is it just donations?
Donations are huge. I mean,
Are
that's
huge.
how we do what we do. One
Do
of
y'all
the
do
things,
monthly donations?
We
Because
do.
some people, it's hard to give. Because I know for me, I would rather give monthly than give a big
We
chunk.
do, and you can sign up if you go to the Greater Baton Rouge.
Okay.
And then you click to donate. It'll ask you if you want to set up with monthly donations.
Because that's such a good thing. Because, like, looking to tide wherever you want to, I think you
Right.
should always give back. I mean, my dad taught me that right down. We always give back. But no, that's a good thing to do. And it goes to such a good cause because you help the families.
It does.
And psychologically, losing a child, I don't know. I mean, you went through it. And that it's hard. It never goes away.
Right.
It just
Right.
never goes. I know you probably think of that birth date every
Right.
the due date, should I say,
Yes,
every
you
time.
do
But I
think
mean,
about
that's
it.
your child, so it's hard, and I can't imagine what people are going through. And I'm so glad that we do have this in Baton Rouge now, because we didn't.
No, we didn't. And we have, there's so much more that I'm learning too, just after families that get pregnant and are terrified. And then the guilt of like celebrating the new birth that comes along with it, bonding to the baby that you're pregnant with. There are just so many other like domino effects that come from it where these people need support.
I mean, I can't imagine.
And so that's what we're here for, so that journey that they're on, that they don't feel alone, that they know that we're here to support them, and that equally as important that we give them an opportunity to honor their baby and to not forget their baby. And that's why the race is so wonderful, because we do kind of make it like it's a giant birthday party for the families.
Love that. I love that.
So most of them did not get to celebrate an earthly birthday with their baby. And so this is an opportunity to do that. We have fun jumps. Rice and Rue donates jambalaya.
Oh, wow.
We'll have mimosas from the station. And beer, and I know we're Louisiana, so that is part of it.
Beer and
Yes.
food, lots of
We
good
have-
food. I know.
yes.
But what I really like about all this is that it and we know this because there's so much debate out there. But the minute you conceive, it's a baby,
Right. Absolutely.
and it is your child.
Yes.
And that child deserves what every other deserves a burial, deserves to be honored, deserves a
The dignified.
yes, all
yes,
that
all
it
of-
does, and I do, and I get chills thinking about all that because it's like this is such a great thing, and I'm so glad I have you on. And one of my friends right now is asking where's the link to donate. Dad, you put it out there for her?
Yeah, it's right up there.
Yeah, that's my friend that grew up next door to me.
Okay.
I know.
Well,
And
thank
it
you
is-
so much.
We'll
Yeah.
put it on the show notes as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Dad, is there any questions that you would have about all this?
Well, I have a question and then a comment.
okay.
My question is, I went to go look up some data, and I'm not sure I got the right data, but I went to the CDC to try to figure out whether miscarriages were occurring more frequently, in the last few years than they were previous to that. And it did spike in 22 according to the CDC, but it's about back to where it was just before that. I was wondering if you have any anecdotal
weird.
data on any of that.
We are seeing, and so my data would just be based off of how many applications we are filling out, are receiving, as opposed to what term the baby was gestationally or what age. We are seeing a spike. And I know, and I believe that the hospitals here would agree that we're seeing kind of a spike. And it's very interesting. We were comparing our application notes at our board meeting, and it's like there are certain months that each year it spikes up higher. It's very bizarre, but there's like a trend in it.
So weird.
It is. And then you have months like this month, we're in Acadiana, we had 35, and the month's not even over with yet. 35 applications is more than we've ever had. That's
Really?
more than one a day.
Yeah, that is more than one. That's
When you
crazy.
think about it. So we suspect that last year we had probably almost 400 total in the year between both Acadiana and Baton Rouge, and we expect that it's going to hit 500 this year.
Why do you think it's because maybe more people are finding out about y'all, or is
It could be some of that.
Okay.
I do think there's probably increases in that. Nowadays, we can find out that we're pregnant earlier.
You said that earlier too. Yeah.
But we really don't know the science behind
People older too.
what's happening. Honestly,
Yes, if with older pregnancies must have a more difficult time than.
Wouldn't you think? I don't know.
I believe
just,
on the
I don't know. I'm just
medical side. I mean, like when you reach a certain age, you have to see a specialist when you're pregnant. So
know.
you're definitely more at risk at an older age. But honestly, like I don't know what the reason is.
Or it could be Dad too. Like, we're talking about it.
right, and that's true too.
Yep.
And there's
We're
help.
not just,
You're
like,
giving no, and I
brushing
think
it
this
under
is
the
so
rug.
great for women because if you had a miscarriage, I had friends that had miscarriages way back when,
Mm-hmm.
and when my kids 30 years ago, and you didn't dare talk about it. It was like, well, you're fine.
You're fine. Just have another one,
Right.
and
You're
that's
just-
like the worst thing.
Isn't that terrible?
The
And-
worst thing you can say.
And I've been guilty of that. Oh, you're fine. You'll be okay. You're gonna have another baby. Don't
Right.
worry about it.
and
it's
we just
okay.
don't think about it.
No, and it's like almost like we didn't even think about that as being a precious little child. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and that's not how I intended it. And you know that, Dad. I would never.
Absolutely. I don't think
that-
anybody intends it to be.
No,
course not.
like that.
It's just you don't know what to do.
you
and
don't,
then
and you're and that's
and
what
you're
I
trying
was
to make the person feel better, and
You're making
yes.
it worse.
Right.
Right.
And so now this person has and you see it, and I've seen people go through it where they now are super anxious or, have issues with depression or things happen to them. And it's because they never got to deal with the miscarriage.
Right.
And it doesn't matter, like you said, doesn't matter if it's, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or 6 months.
Right.
I mean, it's still your child.
It's still your child. You're still planning for that child. Yes.
And I think, I mean, that I'm so glad we're talking about it, and that could be it, because we are talking about it, and now there is, it's like, it's
Which
almost
is a
like,
good thing.
it is a good thing, and
Right.
you're giving women the okay.
I guess
talk about
my
it.
comment is related to that because I'm a Twitter doom scroller. Okay, I'm going going through the X all the time. But the anecdote I'll drop is that at least half my time there or more is spent praying for people who put a petition up asking for prayers, and an awful lot of them are about a miscarriage or stillbirth or a young child in jeopardy or has passed away. And so I see a lot of it out there, so I'll give them a prayer and an Ave each time I see that. But here we have a local resource we can go to to get help for these people, these families.
And I don't know how, is this, I mean, are y'all planning on growing? Because I feel like everybody should have this in every state.
Everyone should have some sort of support.
That's what
in
I'm
every
saying,
state.
not saying that y'all, but like every state.
Right.
Every
I
state.
mean, it would be great to have a Maddie's everywhere. We gotta take care of our get through this.
No, but I'm
first
just,
and then
of course,
grow.
I have big ideas,
Right,
but I don't know how to work
I do
it out.
think that our founders would love to see it, grow.
Absolutely, because like New Orleans
Right.
would benefit from this.
Right.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I can't even imagine how many babies are lost over there.
I actually have a family out in New Orleans, River Ridge, and they heard about us. And they
Really?
bring almost 100 people to our race. In fact, her baby's birthday, I believe, was this week, or would have been this week. And so she gets a bunch of people from New Orleans, and they drive in and
love it.
form a team, because she said, I have nothing out there, and this
gosh.
helps me celebrate my baby. So
I mean,
it's so special.
It really is, and I feel like everybody needs this. But I mean, we just all do. It's me being a woman. Like you get pregnant, and your fear is, oh my God, what if I lose my baby?
Right.
I know Lindsay wouldn't let us tell everybody until she was so many weeks, and
Because you just don't.
Callie
don't.
the same thing. And now I have a friend, and I'm not gonna say who it is, but I'll tell you after. But one of somebody you probably know. But her daughter got pregnant, and they told everybody right away, kind of like what you said, because of the prayers.
Right.
And she's doing great. And it's like you want as many prayers as you can get. But, and I think the reason we never, we didn't want people to know right away, I think at least Lindsay and them, y'all, generation kind of, is because if you did lose it, it's like what? Is it embarrassing? What is it? Is it like you don't want to talk about it again?
Right.
But you should.
Right.
Like,
and
it's
I
a
guess
loss.
it's hard to talk about. It's hard to tell people.
Maybe it
You know.
is. I don't know what that's about, because I think, oh my gosh, because we didn't do that. The minute I got pregnant when I was younger, you tell people to celebrate it.
Right.
To pray about it, because it's a life. It's a wonderful thing.
Right.
God's given you the most precious gift. It really is the most precious gift that God
Absolutely
can
it is, yes.
send down to you as a child. And so it's like, why wouldn't you want to pray? But like everybody's so scared, and then it's like they don't want to deal. But now you have this where you're seeing women who do lose their children, and they can bury their children, and they can celebrate those children, and then they can have another child.
Right.
It's not like that child just gets forgotten.
Right. We give their child a purpose. We help them know within the community, not just within their family, that their child has purpose.
Validation.
And validation. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's great, because I do think that's some of it, the fear. Don't you think, Dad? I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah. And I was like, I remember telling Lindsay the minute, when I found out she was pregnant, I was like, oh my God, I want to scream it from the ends of the
Right,
earth. It's my
right.
grandbaby coming, I couldn't wait,
Right.
but that's how you should feel. And you shouldn't have the fear, but everybody has this fear now, and that's not good for you.
No, it's not. And I think too, though, sometimes it's the awkwardness that happens when someone knows you're pregnant, and then they come up to you and say, congratulations. And it's not that yes, it makes you feel sad, but then you feel awful for the person that you have to say, well, I miscarried. And then they feel terrible.
I didn't think of it like that.
know,
No, you're right, because you're thinking, but you shouldn't be thinking of the other person.
Right. But sometimes it's
Maybe
hard.
do, but
Yes.
but I mean, really, because you're the one, you're losing the child. But I get that. No, I get that. You just don't want to explain.
Right.
And that's
right.
what Lindsay said. Oh my God, if I lost the baby, I just would never want to talk about it,
Right.
or not explain or anything. So I understand that. But no, this is such a great thing. But is there anything else that you would like to add to all this?
We do need volunteers for
You do?
this
Okay.
weekend.
Okay.
So if you go to the link, the Run Sign Up link.
Can you pull that
It was
up?
the barcode.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
let's
in
see
the
that.
barcode, so it's,
So,
right
what
here.
type of volunteers do you need?
We have on Saturday, we need people like race directors, so they'll stand on the course and kind of tell people to go this way, go that
Easy
way.
stuff.
Easy stuff.
Okay.
We need.
What time? Tell me time.
There's a number of different like little
Okay.
time slots.
Okay, okay.
We could use help at the registration table.
Okay.
I'm also looking for someone to volunteer their time to take pictures.
Okay.
So
So, I know that I'm going to reach out to. I know a few people that are photographers that would be. You don't want my pictures. Lindsay won't even let me take a family picture on the phone.
that's so funny.
Isn't that terrible? But the volunteers. So that's y'all do a lot of stuff, but y'all need lots of volunteers. Just not just for the race, but in other areas too, right?
Mostly for our events. So
For
then
events.
We have another event in March that is a gala. So it's going to be at La Berge, March 28th.
Okay.
We'll have a silent and live auction.
that.
So anybody that has a store that wants to donate or sponsor, we love all of that kind of
Okay.
stuff and showcasing local businesses at our event.
Okay, no, that's all great, and definitely, and we'll get the word out, and definitely, I'm there. I mean, I can tell somebody where to go. I might not be so good at taking the pictures, but I can.
But you can
point
find
that way.
somebody, yeah.
No, absolutely, and that's how you get everybody involved in doing that. Coming on, you just have to ask because people want to help. I mean,
Right.
And there's so many people out there that have had miscarriages and have gone through these hard things, and I know. Personally, people who have that just didn't get any help.
Right.
And no counseling, no help at all whatsoever, and not even a burial for their child.
And that's so sad.
Isn't that sad?
It's very sad.
But I know people like that, and I know that it has affected them.
Right.
And you just know, you know.
Yeah.
So
It's sad. And I think we were talking earlier too about just in the different resources that are available to families when they do get to spend time with their baby after.
okay, and I guess I forgot to say that.
yeah,
Because I remember I told you I thought that was
That's different than it used to be.
It used
Families
to be.
get to
so kind of explain to them that, because I'm glad we didn't end that, because I totally forgot about that. And I saw, and I'm just going to tell everybody, I saw on Facebook somebody that I had known, and they had a baby, and the baby was not alive. And I saw them holding, and thought it was tragic. But it's the best thing that can happen for them. Of course
Right.
you do.
right.
Of course you do. Like, what am I thinking? Yeah, I'm thinking old school way. Not
Well,
good.
and they want to show their baby.
They're proud.
They're proud of
And
their
they
baby,
should be.
and it's their moment to get to kiss on that baby and to love on that baby.
Because they love that baby.
Right.
Yeah. And so you tell them about what they have a special.
They have cuddle cots. I think I might be saying it wrong.
No.
And they're are cold cots, so they can a lot of times they can keep the baby with them in the room because it's almost refrigerated. To help so that the family gets to spend those day or however long with the family.
Just to say goodbye.
Just to say goodbye. Siblings can come in and
Get some
see
closure.
get closure. Yes.
That's so important.
Yes, and grandparents, aunts and uncles. So you can just have that time as a family to know the baby, to love on the baby.
And all the hospitals do this now.
I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I think that most of the hospitals
Offer that
for the
families now.
family.
No, I think
there's
that's
pictures.
that's a beautiful. I mean, it really is a beautiful thing, and I feel like the people that. I just feel bad for our old generation because you got robbed.
You did, yeah,
You got robbed, and it's so wrong. And the baby got robbed.
right.
So it's such a it's such a good thing to do. And because, of course, I would want to.
Right.
I would want to see my baby.
Absolutely. And then, like, the baby looked like this child, or looked like, had curly hair. Like, it's just, it gives you that moment to really just bond, but have that closure as well.
I love that. I really, really do. And this is something that is never talked about.
Right.
Never.
It's not.
It's just, I don't ever talk about it because I don't want to hurt anybody.
Right.
But I'm glad we're talking about it right now, because there's going to be tons of people that can relate to this, that will see this little podcast that we do.
Right.
And,
It's great.
and give, and like such a great resource. But I do kind of think your numbers might be increasing because people are finding out about y'all.
It's possible. It's very possible. I'm just thinking about this too. Something else that we provide, we have created different list of like what should you do, what shouldn't you do for family members, for
that's
employers.
such a good thing.
So that, like, how do you react when your employee comes back to work? What are some things you can do to help them? What to say, what not to say.
See, because that's what I would need help with. Because I wouldn't. You don't know what to say. Nobody
Right.
does.
You don't.
Because anything I say is not going to be right,
Right.
and it's not going to help.
Right. Like a welcome back party is not appropriate, but we can give you the things that you need to do to put in a place to help the family or the parent as they come back to work.
I mean, this is so good. This is really.
It is.
Now I know why.
It's amazing.
Now I know why you're a part of
yes,
it. No, absolutely.
It's amazing. It's a gift to be a part of something that helps so many people.
100%, and it helps the whole family, because everybody just, like you said, you help the dads, which I love that, because I really do think sometimes our dads just get neglected in that kind of area.
Well, they just have to be strong, and they need a place that they're not. They don't have to be.
And you always think, oh, well, you weren't carrying the baby, but that's not true. That was their baby too.
Right, and they're
Yeah.
hurting for their wife as well.
Yeah, and their kids.
And their other kids.
And
right.
the kids are hurting.
Right.
Everybody's hurting in this loss. So, but
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm just so thankful that you came on, so
I'm
we could hear
thankful
about
that y'all
yeah,
had me
yeah,
on.
absolutely. Anything else, Dad?
Oh, thank you so much, Mandy. It's been revealing and motivating and
It's very
inspiring.
educational.
And another place we can help in the community, either
Yes.
by volunteering or by donations.
I know.
And best by word of mouth, just share it with friends as well.
No,
So-
absolutely. I'm going to definitely, talk to people. And that's kind of like why we do this little podcast, too. I kind of think Dad and I, we didn't know what we were doing when we first started, huh, Dad?
Right. We're still unsure over
We
here.
still don't know
Y'all
what we're
look
doing.
like professionals.
Oh God, no, we're not. We're not. But we just wanted to help. We want to do faith, family, community, just kind of help everybody. What else did I forget, Dad? I forget something else.
Life,
family, community.
faith, and community. That's
Yeah.
it.
I love that.
And if we could make our community better by sharing things, it's not about getting all the views. It's about helping. That's
Right.
kind of what we wanted to do. Just help our community here.
We don't want things like this to be a secret that no one knows about.
No,
Right.
you want everybody to know about
Right,
this.
right.
And, I know I've had several people on for several different things. And it's like every time I have somebody new on, they're like, oh my gosh, people come to me and say, oh
I
God,
didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
right.
Or I didn't know I could donate here. Or because sometimes you are looking for places to donate. And, of course, we're all going to donate at church, right?
Right.
We're all going to do that. But then you really want to donate where you want to know where it's really going or
Right.
something good. And this is great.
Right. And I always tell people too, when you're donating to Maddie's Footprints, it is going directly to a family. It's not going into some bigger pot and we don't know where it's going.
Right.
$100 will cover a session of grief.
Really?
$500 cremation, $1,000 burial. So you know exactly where your money is going. I tell people all the time, we have a couple of children that have had little lemonade stands, and they
I
might
love
raise
that.
$100 and say, I want to donate this to Maddie's Footprints, and
Wow.
they've paid for a family to have a session.
And that's huge.
Which is, yes.
And that's amazing.
It's pretty amazing.
No, I think so too. And I think that's because there's a lot of places that the money doesn't go where it's supposed to go. I'm
Right.
not going to say who they are to
Right.
in trouble, but I know who you are. But I like when I donate, I like to know where the money's going
Right.
and where it's being, and I want it to be used to help a family. That's what I want. And this is where it's going to go.
Right.
And I really like that. So that's kind of why we kind of do all this. Hey, Wendy.
I love that y'all
My friend
do
Wendy's
this.
on here.
I love that y'all do this. And also, if you donate to Baton Rouge, it stays in Baton Rouge.
Oh, it does.
If you donate to Acadiana, it stays in Acadiana.
Okay. And that's good to know, too.
But a lot of people want to help within their community.
That's what we want to do. We
And
want to make
so-
Baton Rouge a better place.
Right.
Local. All right.
Yeah,
And we
you
have
want
some donors that will donate and say, please split this between both or put
Sure.
this towards your, corporate side. But most people like to know that they're helping their neighbor.
Absolutely, and I want to help a family. That's what
Right.
I would want. I want to help a family get better and be able to move through this and help them. But again, that's why we do this, huh, Dad? Because
Absolutely.
we want Baton Rouge gets a bad rap because everybody just talks about the negative, but we have
Right.
so many good things that we
We
do
do.
in Baton Rouge. So
We
many,
do.
and we have such a good, close community. We really do, and I think. Bad news, is just people like bad news for some reason. But we got a lot of good news
That's
out
right.
there.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
always sharing. We're
Yeah.
sharing. This is such good news, and this is such a healthy thing, and it's such a respectable thing for all these little babies. So, thank you so much for
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
having
Mandy.
me.
yeah, for coming on and reaching out. I really do appreciate it.
Appreciate it so
and if you
much.
ever want to come back,
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, maybe before the gala and kind of
Maybe
talk,
so. We could do
talk
that.
about that and kind of, just get some awareness.
Yes,
Right.
I would love that.
Yeah,
Sure.
I would
Yeah.
love to do that too because this is such a. I love children. I know you love children,
I do.
obviously. So yeah, I would love to have you back,
Sure.
but right
I would
before
love
that,
to,
so we can
yeah.
kind of promote it some more.
Yeah, this
so.
is great. Y'all have got such a great little thing going.
I know. I'm glad you came.
Right.
All right, Dad.
Well, honey, what do we have going on next week?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so next week we got the Merle Norman in Prairieville.
Prairieville,
My
this
Merle
is good.
girls are coming.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
Have you ever been there?
No, I feel like my mom always says she worked there when she was younger, though, and she
how
always talks about
funny.
the makeup.
Oh yeah, the
Yes.
makeup. Well, they have the clothes there. They got everything
Oh, I'll
now.
have to check it out.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
have, and they have a live tonight. I'm missing my live, but
Yep.
the clothes. But they are the sweetest, kindest people you ever want to meet. So we got them coming on
Absolutely.
next week.
It'll be fun. And it'll be a little good distraction from what else is going on next Tuesday. So,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Right. We're
so-
gonna make it. Yeah, next Tuesday's gonna be a light night. It's gonna
Light-
be
light
easy,
night. It'll be
happy,
easy.
fun.
That's right.
happy,
Yes.
fun
That's
night, and then we'll get back to other stuff. We gotta.
Yeah. Well, thank everybody for tuning in, and catch us next Tuesday night when we have Merle Norman from Prairieville on. Thank you again. Love
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.